Homelessness has grown into a citywide crisis here in Los Angeles. But at the Central City Church every Wednesday night here in Skid Row, unique efforts are being made to reach out to those whom society has left alone.
Where are we exactly in LA County? It's known as Skid Row. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, Skid Row is a contained area that the city deemed, about 30 square blocks, that they deemed a long time ago that was the area that they were going to relocate all of the rescue missions. And so there's about 18 different rescue missions and agencies in this 30 square block area.
Wow.
Skid Row literally came from the upper Northwest, areas where homeless individuals, hobos or whatever, would, and they would slide logs down and they'd skid it down the river.
Huh.
So that's kind of where the term came by. So in this area, it used to be the historic core, and development occurred, and so then it became dilapidated and blighted in this area.
Yeah.
And so they moved all the rescue missions, so they over-concentrated all the homeless in this area.
Yeah.
And most cities in LA County don't have shelters, so they all send people here. But within this 30 square block area, there's about 15,000 people. A couple thousand live on the street, a couple thousand in rehab programs, and about 10,000 living in like welfare hotels. But it's a human tragedy. I mean, there's just people just living in squalor and trash and things like that.
I mean, it's a bit overwhelming. Like, it is hard to imagine until you see it or witness it firsthand.
And the biggest issue is the fact that in this area, a lot of individuals are struggling with mental illness and addiction, but they're also great people. They got great hearts, and this is a community down here. People have lived down here for decades, and it's a place that, again, where people desire to belong and desire to be part of a community, a community of faith especially.
You know, I think there's a lot of people, I think, that wonder whether religion is still relevant. What would you have to say about that?
I remember this bumper sticker, and it was the big thing where it says, "Try Jesus," and it kept being a "Try Jesus." And I remember somebody spray painted on there, I did, and it didn't work. And that always sticks in my brain because I think if religion is just an assent of belief, then I get pretty sarcastic about it. But if it is really the expression of love unconditionally, love full of grace and inclusion and drawing people in, that was modeled by Christ, that ends up then, that's what the world is looking for. And so that's what really changes lives. I wasn't changed by the fact that I decided to believe the right thing. I was changed because people invested in me and thought I was of value. And I think that's the truth, whether it's someone that's rich or someone that's mentally ill and poor on the street.
Tell me how you're associated with the karaoke and coffee.
And in the midst of all these rescue missions, we felt like that it was really important to be able to have a community that was here, not just someone that is preaching evangelically, but someone that really develops community and love and hospitality. And so after about 10 years, we started realizing that we needed an outreach that really dropped people in. So Tony's story that started it, he was doing karaoke in bars, and he was trying to get sober and get his life together, and we thought that probably wasn't a good thing to do and hang out in bars. And so we started karaoke. James Brown, he's been doing it for 20 years. He's this old guy that he completely takes on the persona of James Brown. So don't miss. Don't miss it.
All right, well, let's go look.
Hello, sir. How are you? Good to see you. Good.
Go, man. Hey. Hey, man.
Pastor Tony leads the karaoke ministry with keen insight into homelessness, drug addiction, and best of all, recovery. He shared with me how it changed his life and became a labor he loves.
We started this ministry 22 years ago. And back then it was something new to the community, and the community itself was like they didn't have much to do. I mean, most of the people that were out there, they were either getting high or they were getting drunk, and the music, whatever, was all over the field. One thing about karaoke is that it's like a universal language. You know what I mean? If you get out there and you listen to people playing their radios and all that stuff, they love to sing along with the songs, you know. Everybody knows the songs, you know, and going back in time. And if you know what I'm talking about, music is kind of like a time machine.
Yeah.
When we first came here, my wife and I, we came to church on Sunday, and we had let Scott know that this is what we did for a living, because when I was out there, I started the karaoke thing as a business.
Okay.
And so I was out there and I'd set my equipment up in a bar or someplace, you know, and we'd sing songs, and what it did was we had a following.
Yeah.
And so the people would come into the bar where we were at, and they'd sing songs, and it would bump up the business for the owner. So we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. But when we started doing it here, they asked us, they said, have you ever thought about doing this for a ministry? And I went, well, no, I didn't really think about it. Next thing I know, we had Wednesday night, you know, accounted for, and we did it, and we've been doing it ever since.
So have you always been a pastor?
No, not always. No, in fact, I was on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
When I came here, I was hopelessly addicted to cocaine, and I ended up going to the Union Rescue Mission, you know, and the Union Rescue Mission actually owned a ranch out in Vista, California, which is where I started out getting myself straightened out.
So from cocaine addict to karaoke mission.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what it was. And as time went on, as the years went on, Scott, we got to know each other. And he found out that I had somewhat of a small education as far as what the Bible had to teach. And then I decided, well, let's go to college. Let's go to school. You know, so I ended up doing 5 years at Nazarene Bible College.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You ever been in a situation where you finally realize that you're about to do what it is that you know you're supposed to be doing here on earth? That's where I was at.
Wow.
This was my calling.
How have you seen this ministry affect the community, like firsthand?
Oh, yeah. What started happening is that I would walk down San Pedro, and if you know anything about these streets here, actually the drug trade is very, very organized out here. And as I walk down the street, I see the guys counting their rocks that they're gonna sell. Yeah. And I look at them and I go, and they look at me and they're like, oh, pastor, you know. And I'm like, don't worry about that. I said, I used to be your best customer. I said, but look, I said, when you're ready to get rid of that, come and see me down at the church. I said, I can help you. I said, I know what it takes. I said, so we've had a few of them come down. We met and we've gone into classrooms, and I was able to teach them what the Word of God says, and we did some training. And the Lord took it away from them also, and they were able to get their lives cleaned up and go back and become a part of their family. You know?
How is it that groups like this, churches like this, can help this community that other organizations can't?
You know, it's interesting that you asked that question, because and I don't know if you know much about the history that's going on down here as far as how much the government or even the police department is, how much they touch the homeless community.
Right.
Most of the time when they deal with the homeless community, they're either breaking up their tents or there's somebody that's getting busted for drugs or something like that. We have mental illness that's down here that is pretty much not even being addressed in a whole lot of situations. And when they come in here, what we want the people of this community to know is that they have a voice here. If you're a homeless person pushing a basket and your hair, and then I'm describing myself, and your hair is out to here, you know, with leaves and lint and all kinds of stuff in it from sleeping under bushes.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to hear what you say. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't give you any kind of thought that you might know what you're talking about. And so what do? They brush you off, and they don't want to listen to you. I was also called today by Officer Joseph. He called me up and he wants me to come and get back involved with the clergy council for the area. What the clergy council does is we get involved with the people that are here, the people that are in this community, and try to help them.
Yeah.
We try to help them and try to give them voices and to try to help them to mend the problems that is between the people and the police department. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be able to rely on the police and not be afraid of it.
Yeah.
And so we're having what they call peace talks between the police and the people of the community. So I'm about to once again dive in head first, because this is important. It's important for us to all come together.
But you're offering a safe haven for the community to look at people as people.
Exactly. Because that's what we are. We're all
and you're
people.
involved in the community.
That's
you're not
right.
Standing on the outside looking in. You're
That's right.
getting into the heart of it.
That's right. This is what I am. This is where I came from.
Yeah.
And I know that it has a lot of wonderful and positive things.
Yeah.
That we can take care of. So it's great.
Thank you, Tony.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, this is great.
This video is inspired by our PBS series, Reconnecting Roots. Visit reconnectingroots.com to watch the full episodes or to check out our music and podcast. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe so we can keep making more. Thanks for watching.